The New York Times put out its list of the 100 greatest films of the 21st century, but we're not going to watch 100, we're going to watch the top 30. So join us on this journey as we watch 30 films in 30 days. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Cinematic Trinity and our series where we're watching 30 films in 30 days. I don't sound as enthusiastic this time around because we are talking about Zone of Interest. The German-made film, which basically follows this family of a Nazi commander who lives in their house, and basically their house is right next door to Auschwitz. That is the gimmick of the film. It is basically just it's a dreadful watch, but it's a dread-filled movie where basically they are essentially just living their normal lives, and you can just hear stuff in the background. Like, you never directly go inside the camp, you are just sort of privy to what they're doing day to day, but also there's these horrible things happening around them. Tulip, what do the New York Times have to say about this movie?
The New York Times, using the bones of Martin Amis's novel of the same name, focuses on the day-to-day life of Commandant of Auschwitz, Rudolf Höss. The garden to the soundtrack of mass murder as the ash of human bodies falls from the sky. It's a disorientating watch that shows just how easy it is to live with monstrosity, every so often jolting you out of your skin with Mika Levy's unnerving score. So I do kind of think that is an accurate description because that is what the film is. But what you've got to understand is the very first part of that sentence. They garden to the soundtrack of mass murder. And what I mean is they garden. You're just watching them in the garden, or you're watching them in the house, or you're watching them, I don't even know where. You're literally just watching them live their lives. And it's like, I get it that it's awful that they can even continue to live a normal life, but that becomes your normal, and the weight of your problems, you can't compare them to the weight of somebody else's problems because they're your problems, you know. So their problem is he might have to move away to go and run another camp, essentially, where they want to murder 400,000 Hungarian Jews or something like that. What was it? Where was it?
700,000. I don't know where the
Where
camp
were
was.
they from?
No, was
that right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So that's awful, but they can't compute that. So it's horrendous to watch and horrendous to think that is probably exactly how we're watching it. It's probably exactly how it happened. They were just living their lives. They thought they had the best life, this gorgeous, gorgeous garden, this lovely house that's really well decorated, and they've spent loads of money decorating it. And right next door is the camp, and they can just hear people being murdered, and they can smell it, and the kids are playing in the river, and then all the ashes start to come down the river. It's awful. It's horrible. I can't even compute. But as a film, it's just so dull. Like, after the first 10-15 minutes where you understand the premise, you think, oh, yeah, Nazis are horrible. Yeah, it was all awful. It was horrible. This whole premise is awful. You get it, and then you're just kind of like stuck watching it. And it's like, I don't need this film to tell me how awful it was and how awful I already know. You know, not that I experienced it or had any connection to it apart from learning about it. But I already know. I didn't need this film to tell me. And yeah, it just made it very, very boring and very difficult to sit through. And you know, it's interesting, and as I say, everything, like, on paper, like the way that it's filmed, you know, it's kind of like static shots, but they're like walking through the house from one room to another. I loved all of that, you know, and that was all great, lovely, whatever, but it didn't, like, again, it didn't impact me. I didn't think, oh my god, I can't believe that this is the way that they're living and there's all these atrocities going on. It didn't make me feel connected to the situation or the characters at all, unfortunately.
Kieran, what did you think?
See, you say that you liked the static camera angles and all the different shots of them, like, going from place to place around the house and things like that. I really just... there was exactly 2 or 3 scenes in the entire film that I thought, I enjoyed that, or that was poignant, or that impacted me in some way. The rest of it, the first half an hour of the film, the only thing that happens, the only action that takes place is Sandra Hüller, that's her name, isn't it?
Yeah.
Her character puts on lipstick and promptly takes it off again.
Yeah.
That is the only thing I took away from the first half an hour. Obviously, you've got all of these things that's happening, and the setting of the film is more a point than the actual film itself.
Yes, yeah.
Because, yes, they are on the doorstep of Auschwitz, and the atrocities that went on Auschwitz are horrendous, and will never not be horrendous, in any way, shape, or form. And it does show that in certain scenes, like the ash coming down the river and things like that. So you get the visual idea of it then, and you do have the sounds of like the gunfire, the dogs, the trains arriving and going and everything like that. You do have that in the film, and I understand that's there. It doesn't change the fact this film's so boring.
Yeah.
I'm just watching someone walk around a house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It did not grip me in any way whatsoever, and I think we've already spoken about it slightly before, where there is a film comparison of this kind of time period where there is another camp, and The Boy in Striped Pajamas is the film I'm referring to, and that film gripped me. That film made me feel a connection to the characters, which then made the kind of climax of that film impactful to me, because I've related to the characters. I've empathized with this child Bruno who doesn't know what's going on, with the child Shmuel who is a victim of this camp, and he doesn't really know what's going on either. I empathize with those characters, so then when the climax of the film happens, it's that much more impactful. The only people you're following in this film are Nazis. They're terrible people. You can't empathise with them.
Yeah, you can't.
I'm not getting any connection to them, and I need that in a film. I need something to relate to empathise to do in some way. And yes, the sounds are there, but to me, that's not enough.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's better to show, not tell, not hear, not show, not tell.
Yes. Yeah. I get you.
Visuals are very key. Sound is very key. Sound without visuals is very difficult to embrace the same kind of focus and impact.
Because it only has impact because we know what's happened, because of history. But if somebody just, a young person, say, or if this was played in like a classroom where they hadn't really learned about World War II yet or whatever, you don't know unless you're taught about it. Or, is this really a film that they could watch and be like, oh god, yeah, that is horrible? Because they're not going to understand what's going on either. We can only understand what's happening because we know that a train means that's a load of people being taken to their death. Awful. But we only know that because of history. So it's like, actually, have you made an impactful film that teaches people how horrible this is and blah 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 blah? Like, probably not.
I mean, for me, I think it could have just been like a short film, and like you would have had the impact of like the sound design, which I think like on the whole is good. Like I think the film is intentionally making it a dreadful experience for you. You're meant to feel like this overwhelming sense of dread watching it, but like because it is in this longer format, it does demand a lot from you to kind of just sit through it. Which again, like films can challenge you, films can do X, Y, Z, but like for this particular one, like because I respect the fact that he didn't show what was happening in the camp. Sometimes that does make it worse. And there are like bits where it just flashes and you just hear screaming. And like, again, that's probably a bit more harrowing than seeing it happen. But like, I feel like you could have maybe done like a 15-minute short film. And then like maybe the twist at the end is that they're actually next to Auschwitz. You don't know these people are Nazis. You think they're just having a nice day-to-day life. But because you go into this and you know that that's the gimmick of the film, it's not like it is an outright twist in the film. They don't turn around and be like, oh my God, this is Auschwitz. You know they're Nazis, you know where they're to, you know what it is, but like it kind of just gets to a point where you almost see all you can see, sort of thing, without the shock factor leaves after a while.
Exactly.
I think,
and that's why it's almost like a shame. Like I think because for us, it's lost its intended impact by the length. If it was, I do agree that if it was a short film or something, then it would have the intended impact of making me think, oh God, yeah, how awful.
And I also
I
think
hate
like,
these people.
I think for your point about showing it in schools, that's where you'd show it in like a school as if it's like a short film, because then you'd like as a teacher you can be like, right, what did we see in this film? What did you hear? What does this allude to that actually happened in historical time? Whereas like, I feel like you could get something that way. But yeah, it didn't land. It almost feels like a shame to say this film is not that great, because I guess obviously you did
I feel bad about it.
You did a TikTok on it. You got some backlash for it. Like I doubt we're going to get any backlash on this like review we've done.
Nobody watches it.
Yeah. Who knows? This is where it actually take off, and then there'll be some discourse.
I know. Like, oh
I should
God.
probably clarify, by visuals I do not mean, witnessing
Yeah.
Yeah.
execution of these individuals. I mean just, something that isn't a woman walking around the house.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Just to clarify before someone cancels me off.
It's just like the thing. Unfortunately, this is just a film that wasn't for us. It doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that we don't respect genocide or don't respect the victims of genocide or anything like that.
Or that we think that genocide is boring because we don't think that
Yeah.
it's a boring subject.
No. It's not. That's not the takeaway if you don't like this movie.
It was just as a film, we didn't enjoy it.
No.
And that doesn't in no way reflect our feelings of
the Holocaust or World War II in general.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, there's sometimes there's a right way to tell these stories and there's a wrong way. I wouldn't even say that this is a wrong way. It's just not a very interesting way. Same way in like The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. Like maybe it is a bit more of an entertaining watch, but also you have to take it with a pinch of salt because it is sensationalizing it to a degree, and how historically accurate it is up for debate basically. But yeah, I think it. You have to tread carefully with these sort of things, like how you make a film of this sort of thing. But obviously, at the end of the day, you're making a film about such a depressing subject. Like it can go either way. Like either you would find it really interesting and harrowing, or you just find it harrowing and not very interesting, which is what this film was. What I don't even know what I scored this one. I think it was a difficult one.
Yeah, I can't even remember. I feel like there was one positive thing that I wouldn't have remembered it. About subtitles.
Positive thing about the subtitles?
I appreciated the fact that the subtitles were small, they were white, they kind of almost blended in with like the background, which Michael was like, why are these subtitles blending in? Like I can't read them. But that was good for me because it wasn't like massive white text in a black box taking up half the screen, and 1 minute it's at the top of the screen and 1 minute it's at the bottom of the screen and 1 minute it's off the screen, like it was nice, concise little subtitles, very, very clear, didn't take me away from what I was actually seeing. So well done regarding the subtitles, and please make more subtitles in that way.
Which just when subtitles are like diegetic to the film, isn't it? It depends what you watch it on.
I don't know what that means.
Like when it's in the film's like original cut, like Inglourious Basterds, where it's the yellow text on the screen.
Yeah, exactly.
That's from the film, like directly from the film.
Yes.
It's not Netflix adding subtitles for you.
Exactly. That's what I don't like. Or you've got a DVD copy and it's just sticking the somebody else has done a translation and they've just stuck it on top. I like it when it's like they've thought other people are going to be watching this. Let's properly translate it and put the right subtitles on.
So what would you actually? What did you?
Sorry. Let me consult. Zone of interest. I gave it a 6.
Okay.
I think that's generous.
Kieran, you go for yours. I'm just going to check what mine was on the old Letterboxd.
So as part of my new ranking system, anything that I watch all the way through cannot score lower than a 4.
Okay.
This is a 4.
Okay.
The only reason I watched it all the way through is because we're doing this 30 films in 30 days.
Oh, yeah, disclaimer, me and Michael tried to watch this
like months ago
because we'd seen the trailers and we thought, oh yeah, we should really watch that. Oh yeah, I love a film like that. 20 minutes we switched it off and we vowed to never watch it again, and then we saw it in this list and we've been dreading it. And watching it more, like I ever so slightly enjoyed it a little bit more, but yeah, it's just
I went for
So
I went
boring.
for a 5. Yeah, I think like
I thought I went for a 5 and surprised I went for a 6.
well, there you go. You might be the more positive one out of us. I think you can just tell from watching this review, like we seem drained talking about this film. Tudor also said, "Let's keep this review to like 5 minutes," and we were talking about it for nearly 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But there you go. I feel like
Because we've had to justify ourselves.
it just prompts discussion for why we didn't like this film. You know.
divisive.
Yeah. Here's a quick yes or no. Is it one of the greatest films of the 21st century?
No.
No. There we go then. Well, who knows what the next film will bring? Will it be a good one?
Let's hope so.
But thank you very much for listening to this longer review of The Zone of Interest. Have you guys seen it though? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next video.